Welcome back to Sam and Sonia's Garden. This is Sonia here, bringing you back for my third installment of the mystery squash. So the last time I was working with it, you saw that I had peeled it and took out the seeds from the center. Well, I've already cubed it up because this is how I'm going to make the mirlitone dish that I told you about. Well, this is acting as the mirlitone. But I'm going to use just a little bit of it before I waste my seafood and everything on the mirlitone-ish dish. I want to see how this reacts to heat. So what I'm going to do is just saute a little bit of it up and get a feel for it. So I've got a little bit of my oil here. I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to let that heat up. And I've got some onions that I've already chopped here. And I'm going to kind of put these onions in here with this as this heats up. And I'm going to saute that before I add my mystery squash. So I'm just going to give this a little whack off screen. All right. And get it peeled just like we do. Maybe I could have whacked it a little bit harder because that peel's still hanging on there. Anyways, so I'm gonna get that peeled. And once my squash is almost done, I'm going to mince this over the top and stir it in. Let me rinse my hands off a little bit. All right, those onions are doing what onions do. Given the proper heating. All right, now I'm gonna add a little bit of my own. These are store-bought yellow onions that I've minced up for my mirlitone-ish dish in a little bit, but I just took a few out for this testing here. But I'm going to use a little bit of my Egyptian walking onions too. These were gathered in August of 2024. But I still have some left. I even gathered some this year, this spring in 2025. Doing the same thing with them. I'm just going to put that back up there. Nothing else is on the stove, just this. So I'm going to get that sauteing a little bit. I want it to start getting some brown on it. All right, so that's coming along just fine. And what I plan to do is just sample it on here on screen with you. But it might take a second for these onions to get browning, so maybe I should leave them alone and let them brown, right? Okay. Or let them, the sugars kind of come to develop, let the sugars develop. All right, so I'm going to leave that alone for a second, and we'll just talk about what we're talking about, these squash. Now, I will tell you this. I am not a big squash eater, not for summer squash. But for winter squash, I have developed a taste for it. I didn't have a taste for it growing up, didn't have a taste for any squash growing up, except for my aunt's mother-in-law's squash. She's no longer with us, but I remember when I would spend the summers with my aunt, and whenever her mother-in-law made sauteed squash, hers were always so good. I don't know what in the world she did to them, but honey, let me tell you something. Now I need my top. I'm going to turn this down some. I'm going to give it a little salt. A little bit of pepper. Probably shouldn't be grinding my pepper over all this steam. I know that. All right, so I'm going to turn that down some. Put the top on it. Maybe I will add a little, well, maybe I'll add a little chicken broth to it. It's cooking pretty fast here. All right, so I'm just going to put the top on it. Maybe that'll trap some of the steam and help it to kind of, what's the word? Steam itself, yeah. Trap that in there because I really just want to know that those flavors are. Without adding too many spices to it. I really want to see what those flavors are like in that squash because I'm thinking, you know, there's a possibility that the squash might react with heat in a way that affects the flavor. I don't know. So I want to make sure that, again, that my squash or pumpkin, whatever this is, deserves to have that real estate it's taken up out there in my garden. All right, so it's going. It shouldn't be much longer. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyways, this is kind of what I've been excited about with gardening from the beginning. This is one of the things I've been excited about, not having cross-pollination of fruit or anything, but just having foods and learning to eat what I have and not just saying, okay, you know, I feel like XYZ today. Let me run to the store and go grab that. I want to get used to taking what I have and from my own property and ooh, she's sticky. Taking what I have from my own property and learning how to work with that and create meals from what I have rather than creating a meal list, which I don't mind doing that with what I have, but rather than creating a meal list and going and buying everything I need. I want to get to the point that, okay, that's beginning to get done. I want to get to the point that we can eat from our own little plot of land here and enjoy what we have going on in Sam and Sonia's garden. So I want to just continue to have a stockpile of things, you know, things in my freezer. Hopefully I'll learn to can well enough to have things in jars and just be able to make meals from that. We're already sourcing you know, regeneratively raised meats. So we're not getting that at the store anymore, which was wonderful. We're thankful we had the option to get meats at the store, but we're really trying to I don't know, support local businesses and have food sources close to home and develop relationships with those people. Matter of fact, my garden has been doing so well that one of the farmers that I get chickens from, pastured chickens from, chickens and pork, they were telling me about how many deer they harvested at one point. And I was like, oh, I would love to have some deer. And they were like, well, you want to trade some vegetables for deer? And I'm like, yeah. So hopefully this garden will get going really well soon. And I will have an abundance of veg and hopefully fruit. And be able to do things like that. And, you know, let's see what this is tasting like first. That's just the onion. And I can tell that that can use a little more salt. A little more salt. Just throw that in. Because I do want this to be savory. I don't mind making like knockoff potato pies with squashes and things like that, but it's not a potato pie, it's a squash pie. I don't mind doing that, but I really like to stick with the savory dishes if I can. Because even this onion and squash together are kind of, the sweetness is coming out of both of them, so it's probably enough of that. But anyways, I'm going to start putting things away and talking to you a little bit. So hopefully this will be done in a second or two, and we'll taste it and see what we think. I really don't think the heat affected it in a negative way. I feel like the heat did what heat does to vegetables when you mix them. I feel like it brought it together. So give it one more stir. I think this is ready. Oh boy. I'm excited to try it. Okay, that little piece is ready. So, what I'm gonna do here is grab a little bit of onion because I love onion. I love cooked onion. A little bit of squash. I got way more. I'm losing my onion. Okay, there we go. That looks like a good mouthful, huh? It looks like enough. All right, give it a little blow. Oh, that's too hot. Cover the rest of these up while I'm blowing this. This should be really good. Let's see. I think I'm gonna like it already. What do you think? Let's put it in the mouth and find out. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. It's good. Just doesn't taste like anything. Maybe it needed more than salt and pepper. How can I say it's good and then say it doesn't taste like anything? It is good. Let me try another one. Trying another one. She's hot. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of it. I don't know. Maybe you can't. But can you even see it? All right, so let's give it a go. Tastes like squash. It's good. It's a keeper. But it does taste like squash. It's staying in the garden for sure. All right, well, we'll see what the mature pumpkins taste like later. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.